We live.
What's going on, Darius? Is that you? Darius O'Kane, what's good?
Hey,
Thank you
good
for being here, man.
evening.
Appreciate you, brother. Man, I was at a conference this past week, and this shirt was a hit. It was a hit. People were like, bro, where can I get it? And unfortunately, we are not selling this shirt.
It's not possible, but we're going to probably sell it ourselves.
We can sell it directly, but because there's a mental health kind of a component to it, I've got post-traumatic client disorder. People are like, are you making fun of those who have? No, we are not making fun.
We're not.
We think that this is a real thing, not anywhere near as important or as big as post-traumatic stress disorder, which is also a very real thing. But we definitely want to make sure that we give respect to those who have those ailments and those conditions. Man, what's going on, fam?
Hi, Seesaw Studios.
Seesaw Studios is in the house. Listen, but we do have some shirts.
Yay!
So we wanted to show off
Finally,
some of our
y'all.
shirts to you. If you go to iCouch.live/merch, you can pick up your shirt. You can get your shirt. There's a number of shirts there.
We got a couple.
Let me see.
We
if
got
I can,
the one that says what? I
to
can't
pull
read
them
it.
up.
It's too far.
So it says you can't pay for dopeness. You
Yes,
can't pay
you
for
can't pay
dopeness.
for dopeness.
There's a couple different styles on that one. Then there's one that says know your no and guard your yes. Know your no and guard your yes. That one's on there as well. And it says exposure is not currency. It's not equal to currency. Y'all remember that one.
These are things we have said on the show. So
is not equal
and
to
guess
currency.
what? Guess where it's being sold, guys?
It's on Amazon. It's on
Come
Amazon.
on.
Anybody can get it. Oh,
Yes.
Catherine Langs is
Hi,
here.
Catherine.
Excited to see you. She says, always exciting to be here with you.
Yes,
Thank you so
same
much,
here.
Catherine.
Thank you for always coming
through. We truly, truly, truly appreciate that. That is amazing.
Yeah, but we're excited about the shirts, y'all.
Yes.
I know you guys have been asking consistently.
Yes.
Where's the shirts?
We've been. So I made a discovery today as I was going through iCouch.live/podcast, which takes you to the playlist on YouTube, on the composition YouTube page. It takes you to that playlist. And when I went to that playlist, I noticed that it had 23 videos there. So I was like, wait, I thought we were at like 20 or 21, but clearly I missed an episode or two. So this is actually episode number 24.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing, y'all? Like
I have no idea.
Yo,
Because you just going. You're not really counting.
real talk.
Yeah.
24 episodes is a season.
That's
That's
awesome.
a Hollywood season. Our favorite shows, FBI, some of those other ones, you get a full 24.
Yep.
But if for those who remember the 24 series with Jack Bauer back in the day,
24.
Kiefer Sutherland is
Ding,
a real
ding.
ding. You got 24 episodes because it was 24 hours in the day, and every episode was one consecutive hours. The events happened in real time. Come on, y'all remember that stuff. Don't leave me alone. Y'all remember 24.
Sleepless nights, the red eyes.
Oh, the red eyes. No, we used to binge watch those things. Seesaw Studio says the shirts look great. Thank you so much for that.
Yay.
And then
Darius O'Kane says digital philosophy on a shirt.
digital philosophy
Yep.
on a shirt. And then Catherine Lance says, I need to talk with you about how you set up your shirt shop. Hey,
We've had this thing for a long
all
time.
Everything that we do is to share with others, man.
Yeah,
Everything that we do.
so hit us
So
up.
we definitely want to make sure we can hit y'all up.
Hey,
Yo, JP,
JP.
what's good, sir? Yo, this guy just dropped a book. I know I have not
Really?
responded to you.
Oh.
I don't even know that he's dropped it yet. I think I don't remember what exactly. I know he sent me a message. And he was like, bro, getting ready to drop the book, or the book has
Okay.
dropped. I can't remember exactly all the details, but definitely excited about the book, and definitely I'm going to respond back to you because I want to get into whatever it is you need from me. 'Cause I want to support in whatever way I can, brother. Always good to see you. Always. Hey, man, greetings to your lovely wife as well.
Yes, and the family, the babies.
Yeah, man. It's been a little minute. I'm excited to see you on the show today. Thank you so much for being here. But man, listen, we want to get into our host rant. We got a lot of stuff to cover, a lot of ground to cover. So we want to get into that. So let's go. See, I don't be getting caught off guard.
No. He asked me a question and want me to answer, knowing you're about to be back.
You should have known that.
I should have just ignored him.
You should have ignored it. You should have just said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and lead this joint in. But at any rate, all right, cool. I see you out there, JP. Thank you so much for your comment as well. Always good. He's like, appreciate you, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you, sir, because you, sir, are the man.
So let's get into the host rant.
And we're going to be quick about it because we got Steton on the joint tonight, and Steton's got a story for y'all. Listen, IT people got stories, y'all. IT people got stories. All right. So
the host rant. So, and I can always speak for my field. You can apply it to yours. So a client sends you an email from a customer and they're like, yo, one of my site page is down. Something's going on. Like, can you jump on it? Can you try and fix it? So I'm like, okay, sure. You paying me, right? For me to go do this. I'll go check it out. I go on there and I check it out. And it's a link to some other site that we have set up that redirects to a different site. That site is the site that's down. But, you could have avoided, having me come in to charge you to do this check-in if you just checked it yourself. Yeah. And it happens so often. A client will reach out and be like, yo, so-and-so is happening. I'm like, did you check to be sure that's what is happening? What is happening is actually what's happening. So many times I'm like, just check first real quick. Unless you got unlimited funds, like, I don't mind getting paid. But I'm like, I'm trying to save you some money. Yo, check it first.
I was doing a live show for a client, and the guy was like, man, yo, we're supposed to be streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And the dude is like, yo, it's not on Facebook. It's not on Facebook. Oh my goodness. It's not on Facebook. He's messaging me mid live stream. It's not on Facebook. So I'm like, what? Because I am not looking at the live stream on the live stream side. I'm looking at the live stream on the back end. Yeah. And I'm looking at my indicator. I'm looking at my bandwidth monitor. I'm looking at a number of things that gives me that level of confidence to know that this is working. And so I'm looking at this indicator on my screen that says, Facebook and how many people are watching. So in my mind, I'm like, but Doc,
are you sure?
Are you sure?
Did you check?
So I sometimes will respond back because, especially in the case of where the client is actually the talent, like they're actually on screen and they're taking time in the midst of the live to message me like, dude, oh, this is no, bro, no, it's live. Don't worry about, even if it is not, what you want to do about it right now. It's just mind boggling sometimes. And if they had just checked, usually what happens in those instances, if it is indeed, if it's live on my end, somebody just sent them a message because they couldn't find it. Oh, it's not on Facebook. No, what they really want to tell you is, I can't find it.
That's exactly what they want to tell you.
But they don't tell you that because why would it be their fault, right? This is human nature at its best. Why would it be my fault? It must be your fault. It must not be working. The team that you hired to do this, they don't know what they're doing.
And instead of the client checking to be like, checking your friend like, no, dude, it's working. This is where you find it. They just automatically send it to you like, yo, so-and-so said this is not working. I'm like, check for yourself.
Check. Let me see what Catherine says. Catherine says it's like calling your cable company and they always blame the router so you can avoid by unhooking the router first before you call.
Yes.
In other words, do what you know before you call.
Seriously.
Do what you know before you call. I mean, real talk. This is one of those rants where it's just kind of like, why is this a thing? Like, why are people this way?
People are lazy.
Oh, we've got to stop this kind of thing, fam.
Lazy.
Yeah. Oh, JP just jumped in. JP says, I have, and I love the fact that JP is on LinkedIn.
Yes,
I didn't realize that before.
he
Dope.
is.
Thank you so much for being over on LinkedIn. He says, I have noticed a serious glitch with Restream where the show will not be live on all destinations. Keeps happening over and over. But see, I'm not using that with Restream, Doc. I'm telling you, I have a monitor for all the destinations for my live streams when I'm doing remote production for a client. I know for a fact, and this is something that I always get frustrated with some other teams that I work with, where they'll tell you something and you're like, but bruh, you're not actually monitoring.
They're not monitoring
what's going on. You're actually. So I walked up to. I don't want to call out no names. I'll throw some folks under the bus. But I went into where they were, and I was like, "So, how many people are watching right now?" I don't know. Then they're looking at what do you mean? I'm like, because the whole comment section says that they can't hear. Really? Oh man, I didn't realize. And they just do like that because they know what it is. Oh, I didn't realize that. I'm like, yeah. If you were monitoring, this is a whole other rant. But if you were monitoring, then you would know. The comment section will save your life, especially when you're live. Your comment section will save your life. Yes, so I'm with you. There are all kinds of quibbles and quirks and idiosyncrasies that happen in live. It's not an exact science. Things don't work perfectly, but you do have those checks and balances. I love the bandwidth monitor. All right, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, you're going down the rabbit hole.
I will say this. We have a phenomenal resource of the week, and it is Pricing 101. What did we do last week?
Last week was Discovery Call 101.
Discovery Call 101. This week, for Resource of the Week, we're doing Pricing 101. Why can't I find it? Oh, Pricing 101, because this is your resource of the week. Yo!
All right.
Every time I go through the presentation before we go live, because you have to test it, right?
It first.
Every single time I do this, I go through and forget to go back.
We gotta go back.
To the beginning.
Yes, he will be moving
to the beginning.
Fix it. Hey, it's live. What can we say? It's live. All right.
So
we are on the right slide, y'all.
We're on the right slide now. Pricing 101. I've got to figure out. I got to just put the
a reminder.
No. The previous button on the stream deck. Anyway, Pricing 101. Let me see. Let me make sure my comments are right. You must monitor your stream. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Things always happen. It's about handling how you handle them when things happen. If you're not monitoring.
Then why are you doing it?
No, this is the question. Sometimes I'll be like,
that's a good question.
Y'all are streaming to people who are watching and you're not monitoring? Like,
that makes no sense, y'all.
Okay.
Please.
I love that there's two people on LinkedIn just kind of having a good old time and chatting it up. LinkedIn fam, come on through and hang out with us. We love this. Okay, Pricing 101. This is what it is. Yo, we did what?
Discovery Call 101
last week. And we had a phenomenal time. Make sure you go back and check that out. Listen, Pricing 101.
You got to do your market research, people. Do the research. Where your location is. What is the typical pricing for that product or service that you are offering? Do that research, y'all.
Can your market support your cost?
You've got to do that research, y'all.
Do the research. Do the
research.
I recently did some research on remote production and realized that my prices were not priced properly. So we will be making some changes.
Increase.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Why are we whispering? Yesterday's price is not today's price.
So
exactly.
You got to do your market research. You got to do your market research. And here's the thing. And several of our incubators have shared this on the couch with us multiple times.
Yep.
You got to have some packages.
Yes, you do.
You got to have some packages. And your packages include the things that you guide them towards the package. Like
that works best for them.
Yeah. It's like if somebody rolls up to McDonald's and is like, I want the number one, but no cheese, they've just ordered a package. Now they've modified the package to their taste, but they've ordered a package.
Yes,
you give them the package. I want the number one meal, extra large, 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Come on, talk about it, somebody.
My goodness.
Everybody knows McDonald's ain't real food anyway. But
true, after you've had that discovery call with that client, you can guide them to the package that's for them. Like, for example, if they're telling me, man, I just want you to get the site done. I don't care if the content. I don't want to do nothing. I want you to just do everything. Well, we have this package,
the white glove
package, which covers all that you are saying you need.
The glove.
This is your package, and we're talking about the high-end package at that point. But then
that means we're doing everything.
Yes, but you got your middle tier, and then you got your lower tier.
Yeah.
You can have all the packages, but at least have those 3 ones.
Yeah, and you there's a lot of different things that go along with packaging, right?
True.
And I'm not going to go into all the nuances of it because packaging just by itself could be a whole masterclass.
Yes, it could.
But I will just add that some of your packages are not necessarily from a cost perspective. You've got to have your free offer.
Yes.
You have your mid-tier offer, and then you have your premium offer. And a lot of us don't recognize the value of the free offer.
Yes.
For those that don't know, for the several of you that are watching right now, you are in our free offer. This is our free offer.
This is
right
free.
here. This is one
free.
of our packages, the Incubators Couch, where we give away this value for free $99.
Free.
Let's move it.
And
this is the last one.
When you said your price, say it and be silent.
I am a visual learner, and so if you have ever seen me do a presentation, you may not always hear me point out what's in the background of the slide, but it's there. And in the background of this slide is a night market in Chiang Mai.
I didn't even notice you did that.
And in Chiang Mai, in the night market, you can haggle.
Yes, you can.
That's $20. $20, you put it down and start walking away. And they start, no.
Come back.
You must haggle. You must haggle. That's what they would tell us.
Yep.
But this is not the night market. When you set your price, it is non-negotiable. Like I said to one guy, I was like, where they do that at?
No.
I say, I never see. Do you go into Walmart and say, hey, I don't really want to pay this for the loaf of bread? No.
Try again.
You don't do that. You either buy
or you leave.
Don't buy.
You can go.
You be here for a half hour. You go now. Okay, let me be quiet. But you get the point. You don't negotiate. You just do what you got to do.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Pricing is a science. This is the really base level. We're just giving you the 101. There's 201. There's 301. There's 401. There's master's level, doctorate in terms of pricing. Because there are pricing things and nuances that you can do.
Yes, you can.
There's a la carte scenarios that you can set up. There is the product that you're selling or service that you're selling, and then there's the wraparound services that you can do.
Yes,
right?
Come on.
I was listening to a guy, and he was telling me, was it you that was telling me this?
What?
That this guy had basically taken everything that was for his business and made them profit centers. So he has a business, and in his business, he needs cleaners to come in and clean in the evening. He created a business of cleaners.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
He was doing shipping. He created shipping.
Yep.
Every aspect of his business where he was having to pay somebody to do something, he created a business for it.
Amazing.
I'm talking about wraparound services. Wrap that thing up. So the point where they're like, dang, I'm just in a world of composition. I can't get out. It's like, no. This is what Apple does. Much. Real talk.
That is true. That's what they do, man.
They suck you in. It's not because their phone is better. Stop that.
You get into their ecosystem.
No, you're in that ecosystem. You're stuck.
In that joint. You're in
like,
it.
How do I transfer my iTunes music over to? You can't.
No, it's not possible.
I can't leave.
No,
you can literally see the brain malfunction. You're like, what? I can't leave. You're stuck. You're in the matrix.
Pretty much.
You can't even take the blue pill if you wanted to. So these are things that pricing thing, those wraparound things, that marketing, that branding, it's all part of pricing. This is 101. There's many other levels.
Yeah, there are, but we're just going to give you three today. Just three.
Yeah. I see your comments out there. Somebody's laughing. That's a brilliant background Easter egg. Thank you so much, Seesaw Studios. I knew you would get that. Your graphic guy right there. It's worth every penny, Catherine Langs.
JP Tech, he says, I don't negotiate my price. Instead, we will help you with a payment plan.
We'll help you with a payment plan.
Payment plan.
Listen, but your credit better be good because you're not getting a payment plan. Sir, we're going to need an upfront. In fact, we need a security deposit. How about that? But listen, fam, Steton is on the couch today.
Yes,
we are excited to have him, excited to chat it up with him. He is a good friend. He's here in the city of Huntsville. He's an IT guy.
Yes, he is.
So we're going to hear.
So we could all kind of relate because I was kind of in IT when I first started. I was in IT for a little bit for the start of my career. So we had a lot of things in common that we were chatting it up about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And he's in BNI. So that's my BNI brother.
No, I love it. And he's going to share with some stories today. So let's dive in. You're going to get a chance to hear a little bit about his business first, and then we'll go from there into the discussion. Let's go.
Hi, my name is Steton Walker, and I'm the owner of NaneTech LLC. Here in the Huntsville, Alabama area, we are a full-service IT solutions company. We've worked with hundreds of clients over the last few years here in the area. NaneTech's been around for 5 years, but I personally been around in IT consulting and contracting now for roughly 20 years. I'm a 20-year IT professional, worked with all types of solutions from cybersecurity to cloud, automation, DevOps, and digital marketing, web design, etc. I currently focus on IT solutions and partnering with companies that are web design, digital marketing, and social media, and also app development, and work in a multitude of different technologies and solutions with networking from Dell, Lenovo, Fortinet, Ubiquiti, all the household names, and even internet and telecom solutions. So I can help you get that business internet and business phone solution directly to your company.
Man, we have a treat for you today. We're excited that we have with us in the studio, which is essentially our home.
And we're back at the table.
Back at the table and the Incubators chairs. No. But we have with us Steton Walker. What's good?
Just enjoying.
Man. Enjoying.
Yes,
listen.
we are happy to have you.
We're excited to have you here, man.
Welcome.
We want to say a word of welcome to those who are watching live with us, but also want to say a word of welcome to the podcast listeners as well.
Oh yes, because we
always,
are.
I want to say we are making podcasts with this, right? So I want to say a word of welcome to all of you coming to hang out with us on the Incubators Couch. And hey, Steton, how long have you been in business, man?
Well, I've been consulting now since I was actually 19 years old. So
19 years old.
Lots of experience, y'all.
I mean, some of them saw the video, but podcast listeners didn't. So take a few minutes, just kind of tell us a little bit about what you do. I mean, and what your business is and what services you provide.
Sure thing. So I'm an IT consulting company called NaneTech. It was originally started with a partner of mine, and Nane is Swahili for 8. He has 4 children. I had 4 children, so we wanted to make it
wow,
I like that.
family-oriented business.
Yeah.
So I consider myself a pretty good nerd. So so we definitely centered around tech. Originally, we started out with digital marketing, and as we kind of split from each other, I took it more towards what I knew best was IT consulting.
Right.
So So for the last probably 3 to 4 years now, I've been focusing on IT consulting.
Technology.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let me say, and I'm not, it could have been an amicable, parting, but I will say that every single partnership I have ever dealt with, including my own partnerships, including my dad's partnerships, always end up being two different ships leaving in a different direction. So I always find it interesting when people say, "Oh, when we decided to part ways," it's like almost a natural,
like that's the next step.
It's the next evolution. It's going to happen. And listen, there are partnerships and duos that I have seen that work, but it is generally a thing. So that's a whole other conversation for another time. We'll have to bring you back on the couch to talk about that.
Yeah.
But man, that is phenomenal. My background is in IT, so that's my first love, as they say.
Oh, nice.
I'm still a full geek, but let me tell you, ransomware, I'm good.
Yeah.
I still see the therapist for the second ransomware attack, and so I'm still not okay.
Oh wow.
No, real
like,
talk.
Sounds like you need to be on the couch for that
On
one.
the couch. A real couch.
A real couch. But man, listen. So consulting for IT, number of clients all around, tech support, a number of different things. That is phenomenal. I know that rhythm.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, one of the first. It wasn't really a date, but it was like one of the first things that me and Kanique did together is I had her come and work with me because I was I had a little
that's
IT
impressive.
company.
He had his own IT
and I had
joint.
like a couple of different clients around Baltimore and a
would go
couple
to
of
all
law
the
firms and
different
different. So she was like, "I'll come hang with you," because she was in the IT world. So I was like, "All right,
Yeah.
While I make my client visits,
Wow.
Why you kick game,
That's a
y'all? Why
way
you
to
kick
show that
game?
you're a provider, man.
Come on with it,
That's
brother.
a trap right there,
Come
man.
on, man. Listen, it's a whole vibe,
I
man.
tell you,
That is great. I like that. I'm gonna have to take that move.
Listen, man. Hey, come with me to work. You know what I'm saying?
That is a good move.
Oh man, but no, listen. Everybody is here. We're settled in on the couch,
Right.
on the chairs,
On the
but we're
chair.
settled in and we're ready, man. So listen, we know that there's a story. We know.
Yeah.
I know
There's
for
always
a
a
absolute.
story.
Listen,
Right.
IT folk have the best
I would say
stories
so. If you-
on the planet.
If you've ever worked help desk, you've got
Oh, my
plenty of stories. And we
word.
should probably have a show just for
Just
help
for
desk
IT,
stuff
just for IT. Oh
because
my word.
the stories. But no, we'll
Oh,
leave
that
it
is
to you.
good. Yeah, we'll leave it to you. I
think
mean,
I've
we know.
had-
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I've had so many,
Yeah.
honestly, if I'm being honest. Like, to me, falling out of a ceiling to, just
Falling out of a
yeah.
ceiling.
I fell out of a ceiling just in trying to help trying to wire cable. So that's why you keep insurance.
That's
Yeah.
why you keep
Insurance is important. But I think
Note to
most
self.
right. I think my most interesting story was I had this really nice project. It was I was so excited, and I was younger. This was when I probably first started. It was a complete project. I had to install workstations, servers, etc. And the person said those famous words, "Can you get it done right away?" And I said yes. I said yes. Cut a lot of corners in project planning and design, and they paid me. They paid me roughly about 50% up front.
Okay.
So we got everything that we were supposed to get as far as design. I ended up barely making payroll because of it. So what ended up happening was we set out and we designed it on the go. So we knew that we could build out and install the servers. We had to install Windows Active Directory. We had to install file systems.
Yes, sir.
Back in the day, and this was the 2003, 2008 shift.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Of Windows.
That was
So-
a tough shift, man. That was a tough shift.
So this was also the beginning of virtualization. too.
Right.
So back then, there was a couple of ways to virtualize and shift from physical to virtual.
to virtual, right?
So you could use the tools to do it, the software, which usually left a lot to be desired after that. And you have to fix a lot of issues. Well, I chose to do a physical reinstall because I wanted to make it clean. Well, this also means that there was a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
So the transfers really didn't work out from and I didn't understand this, but from the file system from 2003 to 2008 didn't work.
FAT32 to NTFS.
Thank
My
you, sir.
Y'all talking in code for the other people out
And
there.
then on top of that, I'm sorry, what was the question?
I know I'm saying you're talking in code for the audience. But
Yeah,
don't
I
worry
know.
About it. Don't
So
worry.
Listen,
So-
for all the nerds and geeks out there, y'all already know what it is. You know what it is.
So as we were transferring these files over, we realized that, in the process, there was a lot of files missing. And a lot of connected links and a lot of So virtualization doesn't handle that stuff well.
No,
not back then.
Not back then.
Not
now. Today is a lot more seamless. But
so this was
the Wild
roughly like the 2009 area time frame.
Yeah.
Roughly. So eventually later, what we found out was there was a Microsoft tool that came out that you could use to transfer the files, but this client was law, so they were very file heavy, and there were a lot of links to other applications that weren't known, that weren't listed, that weren't included. So I didn't do my part in the discovery phase. In that discovery phase would have really pulled that out and discovered a lot of the links, a lot of, this is a lot of lessons learned. One, never say you can do it right away, because you don't know until you can discover what actually is in the system, in the full system. So I didn't do a complete analysis. This was a lot of my fault, but the customer made it difficult because they wanted it now. How much does it cost to get it right now? And in my eyes, I'm looking cha-ching, you know?
Sure enough,
Great.
From a business perspective,
this is what it's going to cost to get it right now. But I really didn't know that. I really didn't know the cost because I didn't do the discovery and analysis phase. Not at least appropriately. So the customer was at the same time pushing it forward to get faster, even while we were still actively working on it. The installation of the workstations were fine. The procurement, the getting the hardware there, we got it there speedy, fast, in a hurry. We got it installed in the new racks. We were able to line up the racks and get it in the network side by side. But getting everything installed and transferred over was not working properly. So
I'm having flashbacks right now. I'm just like,
at this same time, the customer was, and this is what made the customer difficult. The customer was literally hovering. It was like they had nothing better to do. It was almost like they had nothing better to do but to make sure that they were right there with us the entire time.
Wow.
Oh, we're down because of this. Well, we let you know we were going to be down. We let you know that. Like, did we not talk about this?
And but the more I talk to you,
the more time you're taking me away from the job.
Exactly. So we told them the downtime. We told them the initial. So that part on me was better. I could have done better in handling the expectations.
Right.
So
you learned that after the fact.
Exactly. Yeah. So now I learned how to handle the expectations a lot differently. That we could make sure that there are daily, like now, I kind of give my customers too much data in some cases to bother them.
You want to overwhelm them.
Yeah. I would recommend that. Even in the proposal, I set out a small plan of execution, and even if there's some things that you discover in the process, I kind of want to, hey, looking at this, your walls won't handle this installation, or hey, you guys got way more data than you really said you had, so we have to add more data to
lead lag,
storage,
right? Exactly. Project management,
So now it's a little more added to my analysis phase to it. So, but ultimately the customer was not happy with the time it took because we had to add an extra roughly about 3 weeks to the complete installation.
And which is not bad, I want to say.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think roughly it wasn't too bad. I ended up adding an additional professional to the team to help us get the transfer and the Active Directory permissions over
Right.
like we were supposed to.
Right.
But if I could find a dude who originally installed that Active Directory, I think me and him would have a good fight.
A good talk. I was gonna say talk, fight.
I think a good fight, but
there's so many different little things to pull out. No, go ahead.
No, and honestly, I think that if the nerds know that change management is very important.
Change management,
and especially when you're dealing with any type of system like that, you have to understand your changes, and of course, that stuff wasn't documented.
Yeah,
so we had to discover a lot of
on the fly.
On the fly.
We're at the church where I'm media pastor. A lot of the current team members are fairly new. And so there's a lot of historical knowledge that we just don't have. And so there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle that we're like, so why did this happen? And everybody's kind of looking around like, well, this connects here, they're here. But after that, we just know that over there it comes out and it works. Right. And because of that blank, there's a lot that we just we don't feel comfortable with, that we don't know. And this is one of the things I want to share with our audience as well. I mean, even as you do your client engagements, even as you go into certain projects, man, I think one of the things that we're learning from Steton's story is you do need to set that expectation up front.
Yep, you do.
But you as
with cushion.
And the reason why you set a huge cushion is because of the premise of under promise, over deliver, right? Because
of course
you want to be able to have them think this thing it's probably going to fall apart. And then when it goes well, they're looking at you like you're a genius.
You're amazing. How did you get it done so quickly?
How was this even possible?
I never thought about it that way, but
no, that's so good.
Yeah.
I do it just because I know I'm supposed to, but I never thought about giving them the premises that, this is almost about to fall apart.
Oh yeah, no,
you're delivering anyway. That is a good point.
I let them know, and especially like what you said, there is something to be said for who you come after. Oh, that's a whole word by itself. I'm just going to leave that alone. There's something to be said for who you are following, and what they've left in place. In fact, one of the things I got interviewed for a CIO position for a major health system in Orlando, and one of the things they asked me was, when you were transitioning from your previous job, how did you leave? I thought it was very weird.
That's a good question.
It was a very weird question for them to ask. And I asked them later, why did you ask that? You're like, how you leave says so much about how you're currently working.
Right.
It does.
Because of, and it was, I'm very detailed. I'm OCD, if you didn't know. I'm very detailed. So I left copious notes, and I had what I like to say, the God document that, had everything in there, and files, folders, everything, backed up in triplicate. And I made sure they had all those locations. So when I left, they had everything. They could literally hand that whole set to someone who is knowledgeable, and they could basically just go through it and say, okay, I have the keys to the kingdom and we can get to work. But it's something to be said for who was there before. I don't know how many of you asked the question. If you ever work on a video project, you have to ask them, who have you worked with in the past? Because that will let you know what expectations they're coming to your project with.
That's
or true. What lack of expectations they come to your project with. So there's so much good. No. You've really shared. I think there's a lot from that story that you can pull from, and it's not just technical. I want to make sure that our audience knows, man. When you're talking about change management affects everything.
Because I was thinking it's not just IT. It affects everything, even with web. I give my clients everything they need to have access, full access to their assets.
We tell them if your previous people haven't given you access, that's actually not good. That's not good. That's not a good place to be in. You don't know how to log into your website. You can't get to the back end. You don't what? I don't know my previous.
You need to have everything.
No, you need to have everything. You need to have everything.
That's a good point. I think every owner of especially the owner of the business, should have the keys to every part of the kingdom.
Even if they're not an expert in it.
Yes.
You should be able, if you bring somebody in, even a contractor, with somebody temporary, you should say, okay, come on in. I want you to do this work for me, and here's what I have.
Yeah. Now, the cybersecurity part of me would also say, delegated access. Don't share your passwords.
Totally agree with that.
Do not share your passwords.
It's the same thing for web.
So
I always tell the client, please do not give me access to your hosting.
I do not need your password.
Here's my information. Grant me delegate access, because you can just cut me off whenever.
That is the most important thing. And then if you want to give your password out, don't expect not to be hacked.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes. And don't be emailing it all random.
Right.
Send it securely.
Don't expect not
We
to be
email our
hacked.
password at.
Oh my word.
We email the username
For
all in the
real?
same email address.
Oh my
You don't
goodness.
separate it. It's like
Oh my
delegate
goodness.
access. Like find out. That is the one tip I'm gonna leave you when it comes to cybersecurity.
Mm.
Find out how you can delegate that person access
Yes.
instead of giving them the password, because
Yeah.
that is highly important. And this
So important.
in this day and age of ransomware attacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is
That's so
highly
true.
important.
one of the things that we did with our virtual assistant was to create an online machine. It's a virtual machine, but it's like an online instance of Windows that she can log into. Now her login
That's a good
is her
idea.
own login.
Yeah.
We have our own login, and on that machine, I have created basically saved passwords for all of the different things that she needs to access. But she doesn't necessarily have access to those things. She has access to
That's a good
the
idea.
system
Yeah.
where she has access to those things.
Yep.
And if I ever want to say, we don't want to work with you anymore, cut.
Yep.
One
You're done.
login is cut, and she doesn't have access to
Yeah.
anything.
That's a good idea.
There's
That's a
so many
great
different.
idea.
I learned these things from being in the IT
Yep.
space, and I think there's so much that business owners can learn from those perspectives as well. Just kind of making
Definitely.
sure that your business is viable and it can continue to grow and exist. One of the things I want to ask you as we get ready to land, man, is coming out of that experience with this particular client. First of all, how did it end? Number one, but then secondly, what are some of the things you shifted and changed in your own business as you went forward? Yeah.
So, I mean, it landed out pretty well. Like I said, it took us an additional 3 weeks. We actually got everything transferred. It took us more time. We actually ended up having to buy more equipment, more storage
Really?
space. Yeah, we ended up having to buy more storage space because we didn't have a complete capacity of growth because of that. Because a lot of that stuff was in other places. And mind you, the person who was there before wasn't there to give us a full transfer.
Wow.
We had to do
So
a
you
lot of
kinda did
discovery on
that.
our own.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it helped me understand that one, my cybersecurity, and I wasn't so much into cybersecurity back then like I am now, but cybersecurity is definitely important.
Yeah.
To that design analysis was way
Discovery, man.
Yeah, that discovery and analysis
Make or break the
way
entire project in
important.
discovery.
Oh man.
Oh my word.
And that whole, can you do it now? Can you? How fast can you get it done? Is a good question. Believe it or not, it's a good question. It's a good question for you to start controlling from the beginning.
From the beginning.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Give realistic expectations.
realistic
No.
expectations.
I have actually, when a client says to me, you think this is the requirements, do you think we can get it done right now? I will actually pause on responding to anytime a client says to me, do you think you can get this done right now? I will respond to them in the next day.
Yeah.
I always put a buffer in because I want them to wait on just the answer to the question.
That's a good
because
idea.
setting that precedence with the client lets them know, like,
Like,
oh man,
don't even
it's
start.
not gonna be. It's not gonna
No.
be. So, and my answer to that question is like, well, there's some things we need to discuss. I have no idea what all this project entails. So once we get those things discussed and we have that nailed down, then we can move forward.
Right.
We can give you a timeline that that will hopefully work for you. But if it doesn't, you're more than welcome to find someone who can do
Pretty
it in
much.
the time frame that you would like it to be done.
Yeah. And sometimes you're not the best fit for that client.
There
Yes.
it is.
Sometimes you're just
Exactly.
not the best fit. Sometimes they need to go somewhere else and pay more or find somebody who has the right idea for them.
This is so good.
So
I actually came behind a client, behind another vendor one time, and work with a client, and I remember the client being very critical of the previous person. Oh, they were terrible. Oh, they were this. And the more I would discover, this is a long-term client, a school that we used to do tech support for. But the more I discovered, the more I realized that person was giving them way more than they were paying for. Like they had literally saved that entity multiple times, and they had no clue. And they were speaking so badly
Need to
of them.
let them know.
And so every time I would go back and be like, "Hey, do you know that you have this in place?" No. What does that do? Well, I mean, it's only saving your entire.
yeah, right.
But and the fact that you don't know that it's there and your previous person put it in means that person was doing phenomenal work.
Great job
Over
for
the
you.
course of a year and so, doing support for that client, we have since closed that off. We no longer do IT support. Hallelujah. but no, over the course of that time, they literally sent that previous guy a note to say a word of thanks because of all the things I had discovered. I'm like, man, you guys would have been completely out of luck if that person had not taken the initiative to put things in place that you didn't even know you needed and you weren't even paying for.
Wow.
That blew my mind. So, you can have both of those sides to it as well. Yeah. That's crazy. Who you come after and what they did is critical in terms of servicing a new client and in business.
Yeah, but see, I didn't understand why the guy before me kind of left the things the way they did, because if the client act that way with me,
can only imagine how they acted with him.
Exactly. He was there full time,
full time.
So he was there full
time.
So
he must have walked out the door.
So at that point, there's no telling his state of mind at the end.
It's like, I forget this.
That's true, yeah.
But, one of the things he left was, he was like, this needs to be updated because it's so far out of date. And that's where I came in place after that. You know? So the owner or the president of the company reached out to me through a network, through a business network. Right. And that's where we are. So I'll say one thing I've learned from there moving forward is that now if you look at the technology, a lot of these smaller companies shouldn't own their own hardware unless there's a requirement.
I totally agree with that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
My.
Them being in the cloud, them being in the cloud and
Lord,
colo space. Even back then, I use a lot of connected colo space. Because them owning their own hardware is a disaster. And it should be centralized somewhere. Centralization is really, even for a small and medium business, is a key for proper management. To be honest.
That's good, y'all.
Yeah.
That's good.
There's a lot of nuggets of wisdom that you're hearing right now. There's a segment that we usually do for the host rant where we talk about who's supposed to do that. Because in business, you may be, I don't know, you may be a chef, you could be a financial coach, and you're literally creating financial plans for clients. You could be in the home improvement space, right? You could be literally, putting up sheetrock and drywall, right? But you're still gonna have to have some kind of technology infrastructure, some kind of technology footprint. And if you're asking yourself the question, who's supposed to do all this stuff? What I'm hearing Steton say right now, who's supposed to do all this stuff? It's still you.
Pretty much.
It's still you. And
wear
so
all the hats.
and as the owner of your business, whether you're a solopreneur, whether you have a team, you are going to need to deal with some of the things that have been shared in this particular episode. So if you know somebody who's like, man, I'm trying to figure out this tech thing, listen, share this episode with them because this is one of those conversations that is going to be critical for them to know. But even as you are watching, as you're in your business, there's so many different little nuggets of wisdom along the way. We want to say a word of thanks to you coming through and hanging out with us today, man.
I appreciate the invite. This was actually great.
Awesome. Good.
Really do. You guys are great. I like the whole cohesion here. This is one of these days when I grow up and be able to do this. It's like just sitting pretty.
Man, listen, man. No. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to watch it back myself because there's at least a couple of points there. I was like, man, that's a whole word. It's a whole analogy.
Really?
And I think if you pick up on a couple of them, let us know in the chat. Go ahead and put some of your takeaways in the chat as well, even as we get ready to close it out. Take a second just to let folks know, where they can find you, follow you, what are some of the projects you guys got going on, and hey, maybe they might be looking to do some colo and some, centralization work, So my company name is NaneTech. That's NaneTech. You can follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, under NaneTech also, and Instagram under NaneTech. My name specifically is Steton. You'll see it come up as SC Walker or Walker SC on Facebook. Also Steton Walker under LinkedIn. So reach out to me on either one of those. Excellent.
And also my email, I'll give you my email, is steton.walker@nanetech.com.
We'll make sure it's in the description and the show notes as well for the podcast. Absolutely.
That'll work with me.
Awesome.
So I would love, man, you guys, I would love to do this again. again one day. Too.
Oh,
listen,
definitely. And
we
we are
will
gonna
have
do a
you back.
season 2. So
Yeah.
we'll definitely have to have you back.
Season 2s are great. I like.
Yeah. We're winding down season 1.
Yes, we
We're
are.
winding down
We're about
season
to
1, but
wind it
we're definitely gonna have you back for season 2.
I tried to refrain from acting too silly on that. It's like,
well, we got to make sure we get that silliness in the next episode because we need that. We want to go viral.
Yeah.
Listen, fam, we want to say a word of thanks to all of you for hanging out with us. Thank you, sir, for all that you shared. And we hope that you learned something, hope that you got something off your chest, and we'll see you in the next one.
That was good one.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good. That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
It was definitely Flashback City for me, y'all. Flashback City. I was all triggered. It's like, what in the world? Darius O'Kane just said, definitely, I'm getting IT support desk flashbacks myself. Listen, that was the roughest part of
it was
tech support. That first level, man. Oh my word, we had stories for days. Days. Clientzillas everywhere.
So many Clientzillas. Like every call, it was a Clientzilla.
They're just all over the place.
We just needed therapy in there.
Yeah.
Therapy.
Real talk. Man, what's going on? I see you in the comments. Yo, who's that said raid? Who's that said it was a raid? Is that David Hunt?
Yeah.
David Hunt, what's going on, man? You haven't been on with us live in a while, brother. Got a chance to see David Hunt last week while I was in Boston. So I was excited to be able to see him and
cool.
the entire Ecamm fam. So that was really dope. But man, listen. When you skip discovery, when you skip the analysis.
You see, we talked about that last week. Be as in depth as possible so you can get all the details.
Yeah.
All the details before you even touch anything. Oh my goodness.
And listen, part of analysis and discovery would have uncovered what they didn't have, number one, but it would have also kind of helped them to know, the trajectory of the client. What I mean by that is, he talked about the client hovering and doing all kinds of other stuff. But in addition, I like to try to assume the best. I try to assume the best. But you have to think, in business, things had to have gone very bad for somebody to just completely sever ties and walk away. That's actually a red flag.
Yes.
There are questions that I have in my questionnaire that help me to know what was their last engagement like and how did it end without asking it in those kinds of words. And the reason why that I want to know that is because how you ended it with your previous provider or
says a lot.
Producer or video,
whoever
whatever. It's also going, that could be what I might be staring down. And sometimes it's understandable, but other times you're like, this might be
I know,
a
right,
track
David?
record.
Get the tea beforehand.
Get the tea beforehand, Doc. That's good. Don't skip
you
discovery.
You got to investigate. You got to talk to people. Like just yesterday, I spoke to another guy he was considering working with someone that I cut ties with. And he was like, yeah, can we talk for a little bit? And I gave him the tea, y'all. And I said,
get all the tea.
I'm giving you all the tea. So
get all the
you're
tea.
going with this information.
And
Do
then you
must.
Listen, and then you go. And knowing is half the battle. Because once now you have that information, you can make an informed decision.
Yes,
but that's the piece for me. I'm trying to get my comments to come back up. I know that Catherine just said something.
Yeah.
If you ran them off or left them high and dry, I want to know before I come on board.
So true.
Because there's a lot to say about that. Why would somebody leave money on the table?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if this,
you have to wonder.
There has to be something. There's got to be something there. And then there may be some times where the person was no good.
Oh my goodness! When he talked about the client hovering, so
yeah, that part is.
She's coming on in the next 2 episodes, but man, she sent us a screenshot, Sharona, of her pricing that her dad would show customers.
Oh gosh!
If they wanted to be there while he designed it.
Yes.
If you wanted to
we've
advise,
got to be able to put that up.
while we're gonna we're gonna show
crazy.
that, because he had a different price for everything. You want to help? This is the price.
Yeah.
You want to advise? This is the price. You want to watch? This is the price. It was so good.
And the prices just kept on going up.
It kept going up.
You want to do the whole thing by yourself? This is the price. All right. No, seriously. So Steton was our guest today, and we want to make sure you guys get a chance to check out his link. It is in the description.
Yes.
No matter where you're watching, NaneTech.com. His link is in the description. All his social media handles are there. And of course, that email address that he talked about.
Yeah.
But in addition, we want to share that next week we have another good friend of ours,
Yes, Curtis Wilson.
will be on the live with us, on the couch with us, and we're excited about that.
And we had a good time,
really
man.
good time.
Lots of jokes.
Really good
Lots
time
of jokes.
on that one. we're gonna be laughing on that one. But we are closing out the season
we
and the
are.
month, right? So for the months of November and December, we're taking a little break.
Yes.
We may come back sometime in January.
Yeah, we'll see.
or I'll probably come back in
Yeah.
January. We'll probably come back in January.
Yeah.
But we're going to take the months of November and December off. But our final and finale for season 1, Incubators Couch, will be the last Monday of this month, October. And our guest will be Sharona.
And y'all,
This is our sister
get
from another
ready.
mister.
Get ready.
Yes, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
It's so good, y'all. Come with your pen and papers, because the knowledge and the bombs she will be dropping.
It might go a
So
little
good.
longer.
It's gonna be
might
long.
Go a little longer.
It's gonna be long, but it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be so
It's going to be
worth
worth it. Listen, I'm looking in the comments. I just wanted to see if anybody had anything else that you wanted to add to the conversation from tonight. Steton shared from his perspective, and of course, he's an IT guy. But you know,
A lot of it can be applied.
a lot of it is
to
exactly.
any
It's not
industry.
just for IT. It's applicable across the board. One of the things I love about Incubators Couch is, of course, that we get to hear these perspectives and these stories from incubators, right? From small businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs who are providing services, support in this case. But when you get to hear those insights, those tips, tricks, best practices, they have impact on us as well. I mean, there's so much over these 24 episodes. There's so much that we have learned that we've incorporated, right? Being able to, oh my word, to fire a client. I just absolutely, I will never forget that. Fire them. But in addition to that, you develop a respect and a deeper understanding for some of these other disciplines and expertise that you may not have understood before. I mean, learning a little bit more about what he does for IT, but then last week we had Carla on and some of the stuff that she shared in terms of marketing, even though that's kind of our lane, but it's still just from her perspective, recognizing that, sometimes you don't want to do all of the things. And you want to
focus on that one thing. That's okay.
That's
fine.
okay. And that's okay. And then we had Lucas on, who's a videographer, and just hearing, I love the concept Lucas and his wife, or he said his wife says, we do it cheap but good. We do it. I can't remember the exact phrase, but it was like, we will give you the best that you can afford. Right? We'll make the project look as good as it possibly can look for the amount of money that you can afford. And I think there's something, to be, that we can mimic on that.
That's true.
And I'm doing this little recap right here on purpose, because I think that there is, if you've missed a couple of episodes, you might want to go back and check them out.
Yeah.
You may want to binge watch them. I just stopped by, the church this afternoon. I saw Shabavian.
I know she's been watching. She's been
Shabavian,
commenting. I
like,
see her
I
comments.
love this show. So I was like, Shabavian, I love that. I'm hoping that at some point she can catch us live.
Yeah, and what I've been doing is going through the podcast, because the podcast just has the stories, and I'm just going through let me go back and listen to some of that stuff again. So the podcast, it will just keep playing all the different stories. And it's like, 25 minutes each one. Yeah. So I've just been gobbling those up all last week.
Yeah. And then if you have, the podcast gives you just the interview, but if you've not been following us on some of the other social platforms, the reels are being dropped regularly.
Dropping
Kanique
the
is doing a
reels.
phenomenal job of just clipping those things up and posting them out there. So definitely want to want to make sure we do that. Hey, Seesaw Studio says go binge watch the entire season. Yes, catch up. David Hunt says I feel the duck race in my future. Ain't no duck race happening here, Doc. I don't know.
Maybe the last show we can do something. We can do something.
But I will say those t-shirts, iCouch.live/merch.
Yes. Oh, David, you missed that. The shirts are live, David.
The shirts are live, David. The shirts are live, and we're selling them on Amazon this time around. iCouch.live/merch. Definitely something that you want to look into. There's a couple of comments that we missed.
Yeah. Catherine says, if you aren't an IT guy, then you need an IT guy, and get one before you DIY yourself into a hole.
Yeah, no, DIY with IT can...
Do not DIY IT if you don't know what you're doing.
So David Hunt says Sharona is an entire problem. Agreed.
Yes, she is.
Seesaw Studio says we will be ready. We will be ready. Yes.
Y'all don't even know.
Yeah. So definitely want to make sure. And then she says, I only realized a few weeks back that it's a live show with a recorded portion. I kept thinking it was only recorded because I missed the beginning. Yeah, no, it's live. It's live. Just the interview portion is pre-recorded.
It's just easier that way.
Oh my word. It would be really ridiculous to try and work everything in with an actual recording. So like, if I could keep it a stat, Catherine, like I actually ate my dinner. Wow.
We was watching
like
the pre-recorded.
While we were watching the pre-recorded
I'm
section.
like, seriously?
I was just eating my dinner. I was like, oh, come on, Steton.
But trying to get people here on time. For a live show.
Bro. To have that consistency. No.
We'll be late all the time.
Pre-record that bad boy. And the thing is, having them pre-recorded allows us to kind of stack it.
Yes.
And then so the live component is just us. So that's a whole cheat code in and of itself. And again, this is stuff that I do with live video strategy, live video coaching. Let's build your brand with live video. I'm redoing my my intro video for my channel
for his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Kirk and Kanique, his YouTube channel.
Yes. And so one of the things that I came up with is just kind of a continuation of something that I always say. Your live stream is your digital storefront. There's simply no better way to go from busy and broke to peaceful and paid than for your ideal customers to see your genius on display live.
Come on, that's good. I like that.
Busy and broke to peaceful and paid.
Peaceful and paid. Come on.
There was so many other frames that I could have come up with.
It sounds good. I like it.
Peaceful and paid.
Yes.
Because folk be busy and broke out in these streets. Somebody says that you are the best kept secret. They're not complimenting you. They're saying that because they want you to keep your prices just where they are. And live video is the difference maker. Yeah. So I'm just sold out on that whole concept, and I'd love to be able to work with some folks. All right.
Catherine's talking to you before you.
What did she say? She says, just signed up for Grant's live seminar tomorrow. Oh yes. Yeah, I've been seeing them. He's been doing a lot of live seminars. Grant Baldwin, definitely love that program. Booked and paid to speak out of Nashville, Tennessee. Nice. So he's a former youth pastor. I mean, it's been a long time since he's been a youth pastor, but I just say that to say he is a person of faith. You may never see that in his content, but that's who he is. For me, when you do the analysis, come on now, you do your analysis, you do your discovery. You want to know who you're working with.
That's true.
That's a big one. And I think you'll really like that program, Catherine. Let me know how it goes. We're interested. We're interested in hearing how that goes. But yeah, fam, that's it for us. It has been a really nice show today. We started a little late, and so we're ending just a little late. That kind of gives us right on an hour. Yeah. But we cannot thank you enough for being here, for hanging out with us. For those that are catching the replay, go ahead and leave a comment. Yeah. We respond to all the comments. To them, yeah. We do. We relish those comments. In fact, those of you who are live right now, let the joint go offline and then come back and comment, because we want to comment. We want to respond to you too. We can't respond in the live comments anymore, but we can respond to any comments that are left after that. Make sure you check us out on LinkedIn. Make sure you check us out on Facebook as well. For all of those that are on those other platforms, thank you again as well. And this is the Incubators Couch, from Your Composition. That's the name of our business, where we do web design, and live video strategy and marketing. And we would love to work with any of you. that are out there if you're trying to get that thing off the ground. Incubators Couch is
unscripted, vulnerable conversations with entrepreneurs
and business
owners just like you.
That's it. Man, she's got it. She got it. Man, we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Later.